What's up, guys? It's Tyler from The Line Change, coming at you with another video. In today's video, we're going to go over the potential, it's not been confirmed yet, potential return of the captain. Quinn Hughes was a full participant at yesterday's practice in LA. So that is a huge positive sign for the Canucks, that Quinn Hughes was a full participant in their practice. We're going to go over an article posted by Jeff Patterson of Canucks Army. JPat, also known for Rink Wide Vancouver. He's a Canucks reporter. We're just going to read a little bit of tidbits from this. And then we're also going to go over some shifting of the lines by Rick Tocchet. He shuffled the lines around in this practice. So we're going to break those down as well, discuss them, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Quinn Hughes will play later today against the LA Kings. So we're going to go over the full practice lineup for the Canucks in LA. So on the first line, they had Jake DeBrusk, Elias Pettersson, and Nils Höglander as their top line. So it looks like they've taken Sherwood off the first line, like what I mentioned in a previous video. I already said Sherwood should not be a first line winger, as much as I mentioned, as much as I love him. No, that's just not the role he should be in. He should be in the bottom six. So they've reunited Pettersson with Höglander. There's a quote from Pettersson actually on playing with Höglander again. It says here, Elias Pettersson on being reunited on the line with Nils Höglander. He's a little pit bull out there, just hardworking, strong on the puck, bring that game, maybe win me some pucks or vice versa. It's fun to play with him. So it's nice to see a little bit of positivity from Elias Pettersson, considering what he said post-game after the game against Utah. We're also going to go over a little quote from Rick Tocchet, talking about the impact of having Quinn Hughes back at practice. Just having Quinn on the ice, the practice level went up one level. He gets pucks to the net, and it makes people go to the net. When he gets the puck at the blue line and he does his dance, it makes people get to the net. And I think that's something we've lacked since he's been out. And Tocchet also talked about working with this group to generate more offense. We had a good video session. I thought it was one of our best practices. We worked on a lot of stuff, getting pucks to the net, saw a lot of creativity. We did some drills where we needed some guys to make some plays, and I saw that today. Now we have to transform that into a game. We're going to go back up to the lines. As I mentioned, the first line. The second line is Joshua, Hedl, Garland. So it looks like Hedl is going to get a turn with Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland. So Connor Garland and Dakota Joshua have been reunited on the line. Everyone knows that line was fantastic. Well, Joshua and Garland together had such good chemistry with Bluger. And yeah, they were one of the best lines in the NHL. So it's going to be interesting to inject a little bit of speed on that line with Hedl. As everyone knows, Hedl has that speed, and he's brought that to the Canucks since he was traded to the Canucks in the JT Miller trade. Third line is O'Connor, Suter, and Boeser. So Brock Boeser has been demoted to the third line after having been the second line recently with Hedl. So yeah, that's pretty big, having Boeser on the third line. I guess, it makes sense. Boeser hasn't really been producing, and obviously having him with Hedl wasn't really working. It wasn't getting his motor running. So Boeser's been demoted to a third line role, which is a little surprising and maybe a little telling too when it comes to re-signing him or if they're going to trade him at the deadline. Fourth line is Baines, Bluger, and Sherwood. For the defense pairings, Hughes is back up on the first pairing with Hronek, his defensive partner. And then you got Marcus Pettersson with Tyler Myers, Carson Soucy with Victor Mancini, and then to round it out, DPD along with Derek Forbort. So those are the lines that were at the practice Tuesday in LA. So that's quite the shuffle that Rick Tocchet ended up doing. Obviously, Boeser being put on the third line is a stands out to me. Boeser is not normally a third line winger, but potentially in this game against LA later, he's going to be on the third line, and it's going to be interesting to see how he responds. Is this Rick Tocchet's way of, trying to get him to wake up and start producing? And is this like a message to Brock Boeser? Could this also have some influence from upper management as well? Could they have, gone to Rick Tocchet and said, hey, put this guy on the third line? And then, we want to continue to evaluate him, which is the ongoing line that both Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford have been saying with Boeser when they've been asked, about re-signing him and how that's going. Been their go-to line is, we're still evaluating him. Brock Boeser is the longest tenured Canuck on this team, and you're still evaluating him, and yet you've offered extensions to, you've signed O'Connor, Marcus Pettersson, Kevin Lankinen. Boeser should have already been re-signed, in my opinion, if you were going to do it. If you were going to re-sign Boeser, it should have been done already. But that's just my personal opinion. The article does continue to go on and mention the fact that the last time Hughes suited up for the Canucks was on January 1st in Dallas, the same day that they traded J.T. Miller and acquired Marcus Pettersson, along with Drew O'Connor and Victor Mancini, as well as Hedl. Hughes has not yet played with any of the newcomers, despite missing 6 games with this latest injury and 10 games overall since Christmas. Hughes still leads all Canucks scorers by 24 points. So even with, the injuries that he's sustained, since Christmas, he's still the Canucks' top scorer by 24 points. It goes on to talk about the defensive pairings, and then Carson Soucy, being returned to the rotation after being a healthy scratch on Sunday in Utah. I mentioned in a previous video that I thought he may have been sent down. Obviously, I was wrong. I was mistaken. So that's me correcting that mistake. It didn't mention the goaltenders, at least in this article, but I would presume Kevin Lankinen gets a start, as it's LA and it's the first of a back-to-back. They play Wednesday tonight in LA and then tomorrow in Anaheim. You would think they would give Anaheim to Seelovs, especially considering that the Kings are in their last 16 home games, and they're coming off wins over Utah and Vegas since the break. Moving further down, actually, hang on, sorry. Where did it go? There's a little, here we go. The Canucks will scoreboard watch on Tuesday night as Calgary plays in Washington, Utah hosts Chicago, and St. Louis is at home to Seattle. Here's me correcting another error I made. I thought the Flames had leapfrogged the Canucks with their win the other night on Sunday, but apparently they haven't. But if the Flames, win against Washington, and if the Canucks lose, then they leapfrog the Canucks and grab the second wildcard spot in the West. If Utah wins against Chicago, they can pull within 2 points of the Canucks, while the Blues can close to within 3 points of Vancouver. So there's that. There's going to be a scoreboard watch in tonight's game. And, I mentioned, in our last video that the game against Utah was a bit of a must-win. I would say this is more of a must-win than the game against Utah, especially after, hearing how close Utah is and the fact that Calgary can leapfrog the Canucks, officially. And then the Blues are, right on their tails as well. Same thing with Anaheim. They're only 6 points back. So I would definitely say this is a pretty big game for the Canucks and quite the line shuffle from Rick Tocchet. We'll see if it works. Also, we'll also see if Quinn Hughes actually will play. There's been no confirmation as of this recording. Perhaps we'll know more closer to game time. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to smash that subscribe button. You guys really help out the channel. If you do so, share this video. If you're watching, or rather, if you're watching and or listening to us on Spotify, leave a comment. The same goes for our YouTube channel. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Quinn Hughes returns tonight against LA? Do you think we'll be a different team with Quinn Hughes in the lineup? Do you think this line shuffling from Tocchet is going to help out? Maybe generate some offense? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.